I'm Joe Biden,
And I'm Kamala Harris.
and I'm here as the new President of the United States to tell all you American people I'm about to get my swerve on. Because the joke is on you because you voted for a centrist Democrat. Ah! Joke's on you! Ah! If you thought what happened to Bret Hart in Montreal was a screw job, wait till you get a load of the next 4 years. Ah!
Now available in paperback and e-readers, E-Steam Blast from the Past. Hell's aspiring angel takes on her demonic doppelganger in this action-packed, time-traveling E-Steam series adventure. Get E-Steam Blast from the Past with a bonus E-Steam comic book, No Good Deed, in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. A couple of weeks ago, the Congressional Black Caucus and Black Civil Rights readers received a swerve when they had a meeting with Joe Biden where he talked down to them like children and told them that he was going to do absolutely nothing for them. However, this isn't the only group that's going to receive the Biden swerve in the coming 4 years because many of the people who went out here to vote for Joe Biden did not do it with a critical thinking approach. Now, most of the American people, when they went out here to vote for Joe Biden, went out here to vote for Joe Biden because they were voting based on emotions as related to their feelings related to the evil orange man, Donald Trump. And based on their emotional approach to voting, they wanted to remove the evil orange man out of office because they thought that the evil orange man was the ultimate evil, and by removing the ultimate evil from the White House, that anybody would do a better job than him. Now, the big problem with that whole approach is nobody really vetted your Joe Biden, and because most Americans did not vet your Joe Biden, what happens is many Americans are going to be set up for as a big disappointment as these black voters received a couple of weeks ago. Now, these black voters got the ultimate pimp slap to the face during that meeting in that so-called unauthorized recording, but the big swerve is coming for others in America, like your SJWs, your woke types, and your far leftists, because based on their emotional approach to voting for Joe Biden, they invested in a covert contract where they thought Joe Biden was going to act on their far left interests, but what they don't understand is that your Joe Biden is a centrist. And as a centrist, he is an individual who basically is, while he's a Democrat on the outside, he has conservative viewpoints on the inside. And him being a centrist means that he is center to the right. So basically, what many of these far leftists wound up voting for was an individual who was basically a light version of a Republican. But you can't tell that to all of those SJWs and far left white people and non black people. They, like black people, were so caught up in their emotions about your Joe Biden that they wanted to get him in office by any means necessary without ever making any sort of critical analysis to what type of political position that your Joe Biden has. And many of those same people are going to be in for the same type of rude awakening that those black voters received when they went out here and tried to meet with Joe Biden to get tangibles as related to their agenda. Most of those people are going to find out that Joe Biden isn't interested in hearing from them now that he's received their vote, because in his mind, he's already received their vote, and because they voted for his centrist platform, that's all they're going to get. Because what he means by unifying the country means unifying the country under a centrist platform. And that's what many on the far left wound up voting for, and not understanding that just because he's got a blue under his name does not mean that he actually has the same viewpoints as you. And this is where a lot of these people are going to be deeply disappointed by what I call the Biden swerve. Now, this Biden swerve is coming, and this swerve is where many of these people find out that the politician that they voted for does not have the same political viewpoints that they have and does not promote the same agenda that they support. And once they find out that this politician does not support the same agenda and the same platform that they support, they're going to be just as deeply disappointed as many of these black people out here when they start asking and making requests of your Joe Biden to support their agenda. Many of these people, like the SJWs and the woke types, they're going to be really disappointed when they find out they can't get any relief on those student loans. And many of these other far left types are going to find out that things are not what they were under Barack Obama, because a centrist has a completely different view of politics, and that completely different view, again, is very similar to that of a conservative. And that's when the joke will be on all of these people, because they wound up voting based on emotion for an individual that they thought was somebody who was going to support their agenda, and they thought somebody was going to be better than Donald Trump. Now, I am no Donald Trump supporter. However, I believe most American people really need to go out here and vet their candidates, because when you vet your candidate, then you can find out if this candidate is supporting your agenda. Unfortunately, many Americans, when they went out here to vote for your Joe Biden, only did it based on two reasons. One was because they thought Donald Trump was mishandling the COVID-19 pandemic, and two, many were so caught up in their hatred and what I call the Trump obsession that they wound up voting for Joe Biden because they thought anybody could be better than the evil orange man. And those aren't really good reasons for voting for a president. When you vote for a president, you should be thinking about what type of tangibles that individual is going to bring to you and your community over the next 4 years, and what vision they're going to shape for the country over the next 4 years. Unfortunately, most Americans were so caught up in their emotions about Donald Trump, and many were so obsessed with Donald Trump to the point where their hatred practically twisted their whole perception of the world, that they could not think critically about who would be the next president over the next 4 years. And now they're experiencing what I'm going to call the Biden swerve in a couple of months, when they find out this politician's agenda runs diametrically opposed to theirs, and they're going to be in for the rudest of rude awakenings. And what happened with those black leaders at the Congressional Black Caucus and the NAACP meeting is just the tip of the iceberg. Many more people are going to get swerved, and they're not going to really like getting swerved by your Joe Biden. And they're not going to like it because they wound up going out here and thinking that this politician was one way, but in actuality, he was another way. And most of these people, while they're going to be angry at Joe Biden, they're going to really have to be angry at themselves, because they fell for the okie doke, and they were the ones who wound up voting for this man, and they wound up voting for this man for all the wrong reasons. So when I look at the whole situation with Joe Biden, the joke is on the American people, and the reason why I have the Joker playing Joe Biden is because, like your Joker, your Joe Biden was one of those guys who manipulates the weak and the gullible, and he takes advantage of them before he lets them in on the punchline, which usually is fatal to them. And the Joker always has a whole setup for his gags, and ultimately he gets the last laugh at the expense of greedy, gullible, and naive people. And again, that's why I have the Joker as Joe Biden, because the joke is on the American people, and sadly the joke that is on the American people because they really don't really think critically about things, and because they don't think critically about things, they wind up getting in situations where they get swerved, played, and used. Now, this video will not be monetized, and in order for me to continue making more videos, I need your support. So if you could donate to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App, it would be greatly appreciated. Or if you could head over to Amazon.com and pick up one of my books, it would be greatly appreciated as well. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.